He had me, and I became the anchor baby. And so I'm an American. And I also makes me an American. We abused the laws fair and square, so I'm an American that works for Jesse. I have my own show on his network, Monday through Friday at noon.
And
American Anchor Baby on YouTube.
for a couple of weeks, turn the heater off. For a couple of weeks, the anchor baby had to go undercover because they were collecting all the illegals. He had to do a show from a undisclosed location.
I'm conflicted, but if they kick me out, I'll go with a tear but a smile because I'll know they're doing the right thing.
See? And if they take him out like on a payday, I'm gonna keep his check.
You can't send it to me.
No,
Western Union.
you're gonna be in jail. Tell me about your show.
I got a show Monday through Thursday, Joel Friday TV at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Jesse's network. You can check it out. I'm just black, that's all.
You black, better known as Arkansas. He didn't know, why do we call you Arkansas? I mean,
We'll have to say it after. We'll say it later.
oh, we can't say it now?
You're starting. You're live.
I am.
Yeah, they want to hear the message.
I'm live. If I don't change, just think about Camilla Harris, how dumb she is. Joel Friday used to call Arkansas Arkansas because he didn't know how to read. He didn't know how, and I didn't know how, and we were a mess. Trying to run a show. Never put black people in charge of a show. But anyway, welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. No, I said the Fallen State, huh? See, I told you, I'm black and slow. What the? Where am I? Welcome to the fellowship. You can get involved by going to our chat line if you have a question or comment. And the anchor baby, y'all know the anchor baby? Who don't know the anchor? I mean, Hate, the white guy. The guy with the good hair, you never heard of him? Where you been? What? What?
I guess I haven't been here.
Are you from out of the country?
No.
Oh, nice. Whatever, you can get involved. Good morning, y'all. How's everybody? Good. Amazing. So I heard that they are having a big basketball game somewhere today. And what? What? Football?
Yeah.
Oh, downtown LA?
No, it's a Super Bowl.
Is it Inglewood?
No. I don't know where it is, honestly.
Oh. Where? Where? Oh, New Orleans. You don't know where it is?
No, I don't watch sport.
Oh, you don't like football?
No.
Me either.
Yeah.
We didn't have a football team when I was growing up. We had basketball and track. And so I had no idea how to play football. So when I moved to LA, I noticed everybody was running up and down the road behind a football. I was like, those are some dumb people running after football, hurting each other. Now I understand a little bit better. So how y'all doing? Okay. Today is the 35th year of Bond. Today we've been around 35 years. Isn't that amazing? I gotta write that down. 35 years. And when I first started Bond, I honestly had no clue of what I was doing. Zero clue. I remember when I first started, it was just me alone. I knew no one or anything, and I just wanted to have a meeting. At that time, it was just for the blacks. And I wanted to have a meeting to tell the blacks that their problem was not racism, that white people are not trying to hold them back, that they've been lied to by their civil rights leaders and things like that. So it was just for the blacks. So I had a meeting. The black showed up. A friend of mine was doing a radio show, so he let me use his place. And he announced that I was going to be having a meeting for the blacks. So we did, and a whole bunch of blacks showed up. I was like, Lord have mercy. And then, so I talked about that, and, excuse me. I've been talking so much. And so I said, okay, the white people are not your problem. You need to forgive your parents. You need to take control of your own life. And the meeting went so well, but I was so nervous. Because I have a cleft palate. Cleft palate means I don't have a palate tongue. And my lip was split, so I'm all messed up, right? And I'm up in the public talking. And I was so nervous that I didn't know what I was talking about. I thought the people were judging me. And all, you know how Satan talks to you, right? And so they really liked that meeting. They're like, wow, this is an amazing meeting. We'd like to have another one. I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. And I spoke so poorly that I couldn't even understand myself. I would not listen to myself on tape. That's how bad it sounds. But then I said, okay, we'll have another one. And all week, I was praying to God that Sunday never came again. I was literally saying, I'm never going back to those meetings. I am not going back because I was scared. Anybody ever been afraid? I had never done that before. I had no idea what I was doing. And the next Sunday came and I had to go. And so I went, and it got a little better, a little easier. And from that, they're like, we should meet all the time. And so, okay, let's come up with an organization name. So I had 3 or 4 people to bring in a name, and we voted on the name and came up with Bond. And I remember I was so nervous that after the meeting, you know how people stand out in front, they stand in the parking lot? I tried to wait until everybody leave, and they wouldn't leave. They were standing in the parking lot. And so I would get in my car and drive real fast through the parking lot because I didn't want anyone to see me. And then there was a man that was coming to the meeting, and he was my enemy, and I didn't know it. And he would try to take over Bond. So he would, at the end of the meeting, and I had been warned not to let this person come to the meeting because he had tried a similar thing with other people. But I was like, no, I'm gonna let him come anyway. I need to find out for myself. I was scared, but I said that. And the guy came, and the guy was trying to take over the meeting. Take Bond away from me. And I finally heard about it. And so one day, shaking in my boot, I confronted him. And I've never seen him again. And so it's been an amazing, and then I started a little board. And they said, we got to come up with a 501c3 thing so we can be legitimate. And then they asked me, what's your 5-year plan? This is the first year now. What's your 5-year plan? I was like, 5-year plan? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to do next Sunday. How am I think of a 5-year plan, right? And I could not come up with a 5-year plan. And I've never had a plan for Bond. I've always just, whatever happens. And it worked by itself. It really worked by itself. And I can take no credit for it, really. But over the last 35 years, it's been amazing. Had I known that I would go through some of the stuff I've gone through, and had I understood the nature of human being, I probably would have stopped a long time ago. But I'm glad I didn't. It was meant to be, and it wasn't my plan. I did not grow up thinking that one day I'm going to have my own business, I'm going to start an organization or anything. Honestly, my goal in life, and I thought a really good goal too, I was going to leave Alabama at 18, go to California, find me a job, buy me a house, because we were taught to buy a house at 35, And so I bought the house at 35. And my plan was to buy a house, get me a little red car. And so I ended up buying a 280Z. And then, it was sharp too. And then get me a lot of clothes. And then, because black people love clothes, we love to dress. And then get me a lot of women. I thought I would be successful if I did that. That was my plan. I had no plan to do anything else that I've done. Isn't that amazing? I thought that was success. So I bought the house at 25. I had no money. I'm gonna make this short because I got a lot of stuff to get into. I had no money when I was 35 to buy a house. So what happened was I had a job, but I had no money. So I woke up that morning, I was 35 years old. 25 years old. And I'm like, wow, I'm 25 years old, I gotta buy a house. And then I said, but I don't have any money. And so I went over to a real estate office and introduced myself to this lady. Well, I introduced myself to the first person I met, but it happened to be a woman. And I said, look, I am 25, I gotta buy a house. She said, do you have any money? I'm like, no. She said, well, how you gonna buy a house with no money? I don't know, but I gotta buy a house. It was stuck in my mind that I had to have a house at 25. How many of you bought your house at 25? Two people, 3 people. And so she was like, you need money to buy a house. A black lady too. And I said, I don't have money, but she said, all right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find some houses and we'll go around and look at different homes and see what you like. And so I said, okay. And so she started calling me to look at different homes, and I found a house right down the street from here in the Jewish area. I love the Jews in the Jewish area, right? It was, it was a really nice house. 2 bedroom, 2 bath, big living room with a fireplace, big dining room, kitchen, a washer and dryer area in the house. And outside it had a big backyard, 2-car garage, and a guest home. And I told her, that lady, I said, this is my house. This is what I want. This is my house. We had walked into several homes, and I finally walked into that, and I knew it was my house. I don't know how, but I knew it, right? And then I told her, this is my house. And she said, okay, I'll talk to the seller and see what the plan is. So she talked to the sellers, and she called me up and said, hey, Jesse, guess what? I'm like, what? The seller don't want anything down for the house. All they want is someone to take on the loan. You just take over the loan and the house is yours. I'm like, what the? And I'm like, okay, nice. And my payments was $300 a month. Isn't that amazing? Down here, right down the road, in the Jewish area. I love the Jews. And that includes insurance and everything for the house. $300 a month. And so I was like, okay. And in 1 year, that house, the whole house cost $25,000. I forgot to tell you that.
What year was this?
Let me see, I was 25. If I'm 75 now, what year was 25?
74?
74.
What was the monthly wage?
Mine, roughly $15 at best. $10 to $15, I forgot. Yeah. So I didn't get a lot of money, but I can pay $35. I mean a $300 house note. And so I got the house. Long story short, I worked at a warehouse. I started partying at the house. I would invite everybody from the warehouse over. They would come over on the weekend, and at that time I would get food stamp too. Because I used to smoke pot a little bit, not a lot. Anybody ever smoke pot? Nice. But not a lot, but enough to be okay with it. And so I would invite everybody over on Friday. I said, come on over. And so I would take the food stamps and I would buy a bunch of food and drinks and things because once I got high, I didn't want to leave the house. And so, and they would come over, a bunch of Mexicans and a couple whites, but this was over in the Mexican neighborhood. And they would come over, and the Mexicans would get so drunk over at my house, they couldn't drive home. So everybody had to sleep overnight in the garage or whatever, right? I had so much fun in the house. And then it went up to $100,000 less than a year. And one thing just led to another. And I say all this because I want you to know you don't have to have a plan for your life. If you want to live, let your little plan go. And just live. And life will happen by itself and it'll be amazing. But you gotta, if you have a plan, you're gonna be trying to make something else happen and you're gonna be stressed out and worried and all that. But God loves us and He whatever we want, He'll give it to us, but you gotta let Him do it. You can't have a plan. You gotta let your little plan go. And because it's just been amazing the whole time. It was the same way when I started my business. I had no idea how to run the janitorial service. And I did because I had wanted to start a business doing reports for doctors. When they put the little thing on the tape, you have to print out whatever they say. But I couldn't afford that, so I started a janitorial service. And people told me, no, don't start a janitorial service. You're too sophisticated to have a janitorial service. People are going to be laughing at you. And the Mexicans are going to outbid you. They're going to get all the jobs because the Mexicans bid low. But I said, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. And I started the janitorial service. And next thing I knew, I had 5 employees working for me. And so I quit my job and I just ran that service. And then when I got ready to start Bond, it occurred to me to start Bond. I said, I'm going to sell this janitorial service. And once again, my friends told me, why are you selling? Nobody's going to buy a janitorial service. Would you ever buy a janitorial service? See? They're too sophisticated. They said, nobody's going to buy a janitorial service. I said, oh, okay, but I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to let people know. And I put the word out that I was selling my janitorial service. And so many people wanted it, I split the contract in half, and I made back every dime I had spent into it. And then some. You gotta not have a plan. You gotta not have a plan. And I remember when I first started Bond, we were so poor, I thought I was gonna ever be able to pay the bills because we had just started, wasn't known yet. And the people were like, oh, you're not gonna make any money at Bond. But I was getting money in and we were paying the bills. And I was like, I'm okay with that. We're getting the bill paid. But they were saying, well, we don't have any money left over. I didn't care about that. I just wanted the bill paid right then. And then the next time the bill, show up, I'll be ready. You gotta let your plan go for your life. You cannot have a plan. You gotta let it go, and then life will work. You can't have any idea of what you want or anything. You gotta let it go. And the hardest thing for people to do is let it go and let it happen. You can't even look for a husband or a wife. The ladies, don't look for a husband. You're gonna find the wrong one. Every time. And don't look for a wife. You're gonna find the wrong one. God will add that unto you if it's meant to be. It'll be the right one, and you will have a marriage that will last until death do you part. I remember I was going to get married twice. I almost got married twice. Can you imagine? And there's one person I was going to marry. She was really nice. We were friends. She was nice. And then, as soon as I got engaged, she became controlling. You too busy. You always work. Blah, 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 right? I'm like, but I thought you were okay with me being busy, working, and, you know. And anybody, a woman ever tried to control you? Anybody? Yeah, all of them, huh? Yeah. And I had made this big announcement, I'm getting married. I made the announcement on the radio. Everybody wanted to come and everything. And then she was like jealous of other women that would talk to me. I'm like, look, you better cut this out because we're not married yet. I had bought this ring. I bought the ring from Costco. It was expensive. That ring was like $100-some. And, and then I said, you better cut it out. But she wouldn't stop. And so I said, the wedding's off. Give me back my ring. I took the ring back to Costco and got my money back. And I'm glad I didn't get married. Because I wouldn't have been as free to do what I have been able to do. It wasn't meant to be. All right? Anybody ever take the ring back from the woman? Yeah, take your ring back. She doesn't own that ring. Because nowadays the women don't want to give the ring back. Have you noticed that? What a mess, huh? But my whole story is to let you know you gotta let life go. And God will take care of you. Really. Don't have a plan. You should get a house if you can, buy yourself land and all that kind of stuff. But don't have a plan for your life. It will work better without a plan. And I have never missed one night of sleep running these businesses and dealing with folks and everything. And I barely graduated high school. And it's not like I had some big education, right? There were literally 18 people in my class, and I was number 18. I was so dumb. I was number 18 in the class. I made an A once on a test, and the only reason I made that A, it was a true and false test. And the teacher had told us, okay, we're having a test Friday, get ready. And I guessed at the test, it was true or false. I guessed, and I made an A, and I was stunned. I showed the A to everybody. But God loves us, He really does, but you don't trust God. When you trust your imagination, you're not trusting God. And have you noticed how the devil always tell you things? He would tell you to do a certain thing, and when you do it, it doesn't work. And then he'll tell you to do something else, and that doesn't work, and he'll laugh at you. Have you noticed he'll laugh at you? He'll tell you to help someone. Oh, help a family member. That family member is in need. Help them. And you will go help the family member, and then you're like so happy that you helped the family member, and then the family member take advantage of you. And now the devil tell you, you helped that family member, now they're taking advantage of you. Or you helped that person, they took advantage of you. And then the devil would laugh at you, tell you how stupid you are, how weak you are, you helped somebody. And now you're mad. And then the devil tell you, don't worry about it, you can help somebody else. And you go, all you're doing is listen to the devil, and he give you all these ideas and that things to do, and you don't even realize that you're listening to the devil on everything, and the devil laugh at you. The devil can tell you to make a joke in the crowd, and if nobody laughs, the devil tell you look so stupid, and now you feel stupid. The people didn't tell you that you look stupid, the devil told you look stupid. Your little joke did not work, and now you feel silly. But the devil told you that you feel silly, and you feel silly. Anybody ever, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. The devil will tell you if you go on that stage right now, you're going to look stupid. You're not knowing what you're going to say. And you feel afraid the moment I call on you, and you'll come up here shaking in your boot, and the devil is laughing at you. He's like, oh, look how stupid you look. Look out there in the audience. You listen to the devil on everything and don't even know. You think it's your thought, that those thoughts are yours, and that you are making yourself feel that way, and you're not. You got to stop listening to the voice of the devil, period, about anything. You literally have to give it all up and just live without thoughts. No thinking life is a perfect life. About anything. Except when you're cooking dinner, you're building a house, working on your car, stuff like that, practical thinking. But other than that, there's no need to think. No need to think. Who was here for the first time? Oh, really? Where y'all come from? What would happen to you if you stopped thinking?
I probably feel much more free if
So
I
why
stop
don't
thinking.
you stop thinking? How do you know you feel free?
Internally, I could feel it. Like I know the feeling. I know when I feel free, and I know when I'm not. I know when I'm like shackled or trapped.
Yeah. So why don't you stop thinking?
It's a great question. I do, and then I fall back into it.
And why?
I'm going unconscious. I'm not paying attention.
And why?
I don't know. That's. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's just. It's a pattern, but it's gotten a lot easier to do it. But I do catch myself falling back into the listening to the voice.
Right. Well, cut it out.
I will.
All right. Amazing. What would happen to you if you stopped thinking?
I would start living.
So why don't you stop thinking?
I think when I catch myself thinking, I stop, and sometimes I catch myself thinking, so I don't realize I'm thinking, and then I
Speak
stop.
up a little bit so they
Yeah,
can hear you.
yeah. When I catch myself thinking, I stop, and if I'm not catching myself thinking, then I'm caught in the thought. But I think I live a lot of my day outside of practical thinking and solving. And is there a line like? If you're building a business, you have some strategy for what to do, the next action, what's the best next action or something like that. When does it transition from just practical thinking to I'm getting lost in the sauce, I'm listening to the devil kind of thing?
When let's say you're building a house and you're building your house and then you're putting the nails into the wall, but then you go into thinking about what happened yesterday or this happened, that's when you go away from practical thinking into dark thinking.
Yeah,
Psychological evil thinking.
sure.
So that's why even
Sure.
we're doing that, you have to bring yourself back
Yeah.
to the nail.
Yeah. So, can I ask you another question?
Yes.
Was there, when you woke up to this way of thinking or this way of understanding, the inner voice and the devil, was there a transition for you or did you all just cut it out like you cut out sugar and just never ate sugar again? Or did you find yourself thinking and then you have to cut it?
That's a good question. First of all, I love sugar.
Yeah.
Black people love sugar. But I can tell you that everything that's happening in the way I see things now, thinking things, and think and all that, it happened by itself. I didn't know it was coming. It's like, it didn't just, it happened on its own. I didn't transition or anything. It just kind of, one thing led to another, and I didn't know that this would happen. It just, as my mind became clearer, understanding came, and one thing just have always led to another one. Because I didn't know that you could live without thinking. When I first woke up, it was because I had asked God because I was very emotional. I was like a beta male. I had fear, I had doubt. I used to feel lonely and all that crap, right? And suicidal thoughts and all kind of stuff. And so I was going to a church, and they said, well, pray, and read the Bible and all that. And I was doing that, but nothing was working. And so I finally asked God to let me what's wrong with me, right? I knew something was wrong, I just didn't know what was wrong. And so I asked God one day, you know what, what's wrong with me? I'm so emotional, I'm so afraid, I'm so this. Let me see myself, because I didn't know who I was. And so one morning, and I had forgotten I'd ask, so one morning I was getting dressed, and all of a sudden I saw evil in me. And I'm like, what the? And I saw evil, it was dark too. Not like a black night or a black person. It was, I love black people. But it was like one of those darkness that comes into your room at night when the door's closed and you're sleeping, and it's just like a dark witch comes in and try to hold you down. You ever had that? Yeah. It was like that inside of me. And I was like, wow, I didn't know I was that dark. And I realized with his help that I resented my mother. Because I didn't know I resented my mother. I thought I loved my mother. I felt that emotional love for her. And I didn't know that I resented her. And he caused me to see that I resented my mother, who tried to turn me away from my father. And so I knew I had to forgive her, because I had read in the Bible, when you forgive, you'll be forgiven. But I knew I had to forgive her. And she came to town. I went over to forgive her. I was 38 at the time. And I was in fear. And I'm like, why am I so afraid of my mother? I could barely breathe, man. And the closer I got, right, but I realized that she used to yell about my father and all kind of stuff. And I went in and I forgave her. I said, look, and I said, let's talk. Because she was talking to her family member in the front room. And have you ever gone to a house where sisters, black sisters are together, and they haven't seen each other in a long time? Oh my God, they laughing and talking and having fun. I'm like, hey, I need to talk to you for a minute, come into the room. And I told her, all my life I have resented you. And I realize now you couldn't help yourself. I'm sorry. I was wrong for resenting you. And my mother admitted that. She was like, wow, I didn't know I had done that to you. And she said her mother did the same thing to her. And she had never told me that before. I never heard it. Because family members don't tell you that kind of stuff. And I forgave her, and my life had changed, right? And so over the years, but when I forgave her, all anger left me. I could never get mad again. I had no anger in my heart, and I was going through a whole bunch of stuff during the show and everything, but I couldn't get angry because it's not there. And then other things started to appear. Like I realized that my thoughts were my problem. So I started telling everybody, all thoughts are all lies all the time. It just happened on its own. It wasn't a transgender. It just, because I stayed with it, that's why I tell everybody to stay with it. Most people are not going to stay with the silent prayer. They're not going to practice being present. And they don't realize the devil tells them, oh, you don't have to do it this morning. Or you don't have to do it today. You don't have to go to that meeting. You already know enough. Or you don't need a fellowship. The devil tells you everything. We don't have our, you know, you hear the liberals be talking about, oh, I finally got my voice, or something like that. They finally have their voice, right? We don't have a voice. We don't come up with any ideas. We don't have any thoughts of our own or anything at all, right? And I didn't know that, but I finally was allowed to see that none of those thoughts were mine, you know? And so I started telling people, all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. And that has become clear now. And it's just one clarity after another one. That's what happened because he would give you a clear mind. The mind is the problem. So I didn't have a transition.
Could I ask, how did you know that none of the thoughts were yours?
I could see that they were not. Whereas before I could not see that they were not mine. But I saw that they were mine. I wouldn't tell myself to kill myself. Sure. You know what I mean? I would not tell myself to be afraid. I wouldn't tell myself to be lonely. Or I wouldn't tell myself to worry. But as the mind became clearer, I started to see he allowed me to see that something was telling me that. I could hear the voice. It sounded like my voice. And the pain felt like me, but it wasn't me, right? He allowed me to see that. So that's how it happened. He allowed you to see by wiping away the darkness, the imagination. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, thank you. I would answer why I don't cut my thoughts from how you had just told me all those stories was I lack faith, that I'm not knowing God in those moments, and that's what I'm realizing.
And you lack faith?
When I'm listening to thoughts and indulging in thoughts that
Yeah.
and the emotions and the content of my mind that's creating it's just going down the wrong path. That why am I doing that? Because I don't know why I'm doing it. It would be a similar answer. It's like unconsciousness or something. But I think in those moments, like how you had asked God, like reveal this to me, or change me, or why is this happening?
Yeah.
That's how I interpreted that in that moment. You connected with God, and God showed you that this other nonsense is just nonsense.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so why am I listening to the nonsense? I'm not knowing God in those moments is kind of how I put it together.
Well, what I recommend that you make sure you practice staying present. Stay present, right? On the men's meeting last week, we had an amazing men's meeting last Thursday. And what I realized that I didn't know before either, I just realized this over the last couple months or so, give or take. I didn't know what the prodigal son meant. You ever heard of the prodigal son? Who have heard of the prodigal son?
Oh, yeah, the prodigal son. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying it wrong, but
I get what you're saying. I thought you were saying particle son.
see,
Yeah, got it.
every black person understood that. You ever heard of the prodigal son?
Yeah.
Tell me about the prodigal son.
I don't recall the details of the story.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a New Testament story or parable.
Yeah. Are you a Christian?
No, but
Are you a Buddhist?
I pull ideas from what serves me. And
Oh,
but
it's okay. That we love the Buddhists.
Yeah, I love the Buddhists too. I love Jesus, and I have a relationship with Jesus.
Right on. You have a relationship with Jesus?
Yeah.
You have a relationship with Jesus?
Yes.
How you know?
It's just my truth. I know.
Your truth?
Yes.
What's your truth? You sound like Oprah. It's my truth. Express your truth. What's your truth?
Jesus was a real man that did what's said about him, and that the work has already been done, that I have a Holy Spirit thanks to him delivering that gift to us, and that when I can always connect with him if I remember.
Oh. Drop it. Let all that go. What the? And I'm going to tell you why after a while. I want to find out about the prodigal son from the prodigal people. Who all know? Tell me, I saw you hear about the prodigal son. Yeah. What's the prodigal son?
He's the one that returned after, he went out in the world and he did whatever he wanted to do while the other son stayed there and did all the things right. And then when he came back, his father accepted him with open arms, which probably bugged the younger brother that did everything right.
Really? And where'd you get that from?
You know where I got that from.
Where?
The Bible.
Amazing. And, and has that helped you?
Has that story helped me?
Yes.
We'll see.
We'll see what?
Because so far, possibly, but I'm not 100% sure.
How long you've known about that story?
Oh, probably in the last few years, because that's when I really started reading the Bible for real, and not just a little.
Okay. Let me go to the lady next to you. Have you heard of the prodigal son?
Yes.
Not particle.
Yeah.
And what do you know about what is that story about?
Well, similar to what he just said. I guess my takeaway is that, yeah, I'm just going to repeat what he said, that the one son left and did whatever he wanted, and the other quote-unquote good son stayed home. And the way it's been interpreted is that, yeah, the kid that stayed home and did all the right things was annoyed, and the dad accepted the free-for-all with open arms. Yeah, that's what I
And
know
has
about
that
it.
story helped you?
I mean, today I would say no, but I think, well, over my lifetime of knowing that story for over 2 decades, I thought that it helped me, but I don't think it helps me right now.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that story? No, I haven't. Are you a Christian? Yeah. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. You are a Christian.
Yeah.
But you never heard of that story.
I don't read the Bible.
Oh.
I'm not a Bible thumper.
Are you Jewish?
Definitely not Jewish.
Ooh, definitely.
Definitely
That
not.
doesn't sound like love for the Jews. Lester, have you heard? Why are you sitting way back there? Lester,
It's a packed house today.
did Nick make you sit back there?
No.
You want to sit up front, or are you okay?
I can sit up front.
Come up front.
Okay.
Are you happy? The anchor baby. You heard that story, the prodigal son?
Just vaguely. I really don't know the details, apart from what I just heard right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Have you heard of that, Raymond?
I'm very familiar with this story. It's a story of 2 sons, one who rebelled against his father, the other who conformed with him. And despite the failure of one son, he realized the son who rebelled. He realized his failure and was willing to accept the responsibility, while the other son, in one moment, was raised that the failure would be accepted by the father. But in truth, they're both loved in equal but different ways.
Amazing. Has that story helped you? Have you known this all your life?
I have known this for a very young life, and in many ways it did help me, because I realized that no matter how big of a failure I am, no matter how dumb the mistakes I made, I realized that the Father is there for me.
Oh, amazing. Well, that sounds nice. Doesn't it sound like nice? And you think, wow, that's a good guy. Right behind Raymond, yeah. Right behind Raymond. I'm sorry, in the back row. Because you were here Thursday night, so I can't come to you about this. Have you heard of the prodigal son?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And what do you think about that story?
I think it's a really good one. I like it. It's good because our instinct in that situation, if you're the father in that story, there's a part of you that's going to want to be like, to the son that's returning, to be like, to come at him with like a punishment or like damn him or anything or something like that. But what the story tells you is that essentially it's what you talk about all the time. Is like the father's not judging the son for going wayward. It's almost like saying like, I see that you know, he's kind of learned his lesson. So now it's like cause for celebration, you know?
Has it helped you?
In a way it has, yeah.
In what way? A little way. You don't have to go through the whole way.
No, it's just like, it really is just going back to judgment. Like, you know, there's people in my life who, you know, maybe got into some rough aspects of life, you know, like getting into drugs or whatever. And it's like, there's a part of me that wants to be like, what the heck's wrong with you? Like, are you that dumb? And then there's the other part of me that's like, don't judge, just like, let this person kind of find the right way themselves, you know?
Have you stopped judging?
I've recognized when I do judge, but it's almost, I feel like I've gotten a little bit better over the years. So answer is no, but I recognize when I am judging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Speaking of judging, And then I want to come back to the prodigal son, and I want to deal with the biblical question. Do you judge?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, I do.
And why?
Out of habit.
What?
Out of habit.
So you have a habit of judging.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking to the mic for me, yeah.
Yes.
Closer. And do you judge yourself too?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
And when you're judging yourself, who are you judging?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
You just said you judge yourself.
Yeah, I do recognize it's a voice that's judging me. Like it's not me judging myself.
And so who are you judging? So a voice judging you, or you judging the voice, or who judging?
I recognize there's a voice there that's saying, "Oh, you are this or you are that." That it's a voice. It's not. It's a voice outside of me talking.
And it judges you?
Yes.
And who are you?
I'm not sure how to answer.
You don't know who you are? Come on around here, yeah.
No.
What?
No, I do not.
So how do you know you're being judged?
Because I do recognize it's a voice that I'm hearing. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
And whose voice is it?
Not mine.
And who is the voice? Why do you think you're being judged then, if you don't know who you are?
Because I know I wouldn't be telling myself like those things.
Right.
Yeah.
And who are you?
That I don't know how to answer.
You can't? What is it like living not knowing who you are? We're still here. He's holding it.
I'm not sure how to answer that either. I don't know.
You don't know?
Uh-uh.
Then why do you get mad when other people say horrible things about you if you don't know who you are? How do you know they're talking about you?
Because I reckon because it's an emotion that comes up.
So why do you get mad?
Because it's the same voice that tells me to get mad.
It tells you to get mad?
Well, no, it's an emotion that comes up of anger.
But that voice tells you to have an emotion?
No, it's felt.
And where is it coming from, the emotions?
From inside.
Inside what?
Inside. Somewhere inside.
What a mess, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What a mess. How old are you?
27.
Have you forgiven your mother?
I have forgiven my mother, not my father.
And you went to your mother?
Yes.
And how did she react to your forgiving her?
She accepted it. She recognized that what I was telling her was the truth. So,
Right on.
Yeah.
And why have you gone to your father?
Because I didn't know how to do it. Like I didn't want to do it, I didn't want it to be like, okay, I forgive you, and then he would ask, but what for? And then I didn't want to have to think about like what I have to say. Does that make sense? I didn't feel like I didn't want it to be like a homework assignment. Like go do this. Like actually wanted to feel it, like know how to answer that question, and then
do you resent him?
I realize, yes, that I do.
And are you able to say why you resent him?
Yes.
Why?
Because he didn't protect me from my mother.
But did you know that beforehand that's why you resented him, that he was not protecting you from your mother?
Say that one more time.
Before you were told that that's what it was, did you resent him?
No.
You didn't resent him? Right?
No.
Yeah. You still don't resent him?
Yeah, oh, okay. That's what I was confused about.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
Most human beings, men and women, do not resent their fathers.
Right.
But they've been told that most of the time by their mothers, so they see their father the way the mother sees the father, because they take on the mother's identity. But most men and women love their fathers. They're yearning for the father. So you don't resent him. That's why you can't think of a reason why.
Right.
So you don't need to do that.
Perfect.
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
Yeah. Are you married?
Negative, no.
You have how many children?
No, I'm not married, no children.
Oh, are you Mexican?
Yes, sir.
You Mexican?
Yes.
And you don't have any children?
No children. No children.
What the? What kind of Mexican are you? Everybody have babies now, but white people.
No children.
All right, nice. Once you get understanding, speaking of judgment, once you get clear understanding about you, I promise you, you will never judge again. It would be impossible to judge anybody about anything, no matter what. You could go out there and get raped right now in the middle of the road, and we all be looking, and you wouldn't judge. You would not judge. You were not created to judge. And when you do judge, you're really bringing that upon yourself. You're bringing it on you. That's why God said, don't do it, because you're doing it to yourself. You really are doing it to yourself. So I want you to work on judgment. Stop judging with thought, eyes, teeth, meaning words, emotions, or little gestures that you make. Oh, that's a bad person. Stop it. Work on that so you can be free from judgment. There's nothing like being, it's so amazing, almost seems like, I can't find the word. Stop judging. Really, all you're going to do is free yourself up. All right? Well, let me do this real fast about the prodigal son. Anybody over here know about the prodigal son? Now they all scared to say, huh? Nobody here ever heard of the prodigal son?
I've heard of it, just never, I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. And how about over here? Oh, okay. The young lady in the back, what do you know about the prodigal son?
I learned about that story when I was really young, and previously to what this gentleman said, it's basically about a son rebelling, feeling jealousy and anger, leaving and returning to his father.
And did it help you?
You know what? Right now, up until this moment, right now, I don't know how I didn't see myself in that story, but I feel like I'm realizing right now that we're all the prodigal son. We all,
well, you
all
a
have,
daughter.
Or daughter, I mean, yeah. But you know what I mean.
Transgender.
No. But we all become angry, we stray, we pull away from God, and hopefully one day we return to the Father, and He does accept us with nothing but love, which is like the real love that we never experienced here
nice.
on earth.
I know why I wanted to ask you about judgment. We did a show, on my radio show this week, we did a story about a transgender, I guess it sounded like it was a man that dressed in woman clothes or whatever. Huh? Drag queen. It was a drag queen? Oh, not a transgender drag queen. What's the difference? But, so a drag queen haven't gone all the way yet, right? It still got a body part.
Well, a drag queen can just dress up. They don't mean that they're trying to be a woman or a woman being a man.
Oh,
They just
okay.
dress up in a costume type thing.
So a drag queen showed up at this black preacher's church, and the drag queen appeared to just be sitting there. I didn't see the beginning of the story. And so the preacher told the drag queen, you gotta leave. The preacher said, you can't come up in here dressed like that. You gotta dress like a man, not like a woman. You can't come and disrespect this building or something like that. You remember what he said? Yeah. You don't come up here disrespecting.
No.
You gotta dress appropriately.
He just said the video that the clip that we saw. He just mentioned that you can't be in here looking like a drag queen. That was it. Yeah, there was no.
He said something about you can't right here. You can't dress like that. He didn't mention the dress. That's why we knew it was a drag queen.
As like his salvation, he's gonna watch. I gotta watch my salvation.
Oh yeah.
He was saying I gotta watch my salvation. You can't do that up in here. No heels. Stuff like that.
And he was like, the Holy Spirit told me you were back there. Something like that. Like the Holy Spirit said, oh, we're the drag queen in the midst. Right?
Right. He said you can do whatever you want outside, but in here, you got to go.
Right. You can be a drag queen outside, but not in the church, in essence. So I want to know, that's what I thought about judgment. I want to talk about that. Would you have thrown the drag queen out of church?
No.
And why not?
If they were there to participate in what I was doing, then they can do that. If they were there under the same judgment as everybody else because they were misbehaving, then it would just be someone misbehaving.
Amazing.
But that's what it would be.
Would you have thrown the drag queen out? Let me ask a lady, you're not a women judge. Oh, that's a drag queen over there. Let me whisper over to the next person at church. Would you throw the drag queen out?
No.
And why not?
Well, I watch your show, so when that
Oh, you heard
happened
that.
and you showed it, it was, I liked what you said at the end of it, which was obviously she was there for a reason to seek help, no matter what they were feeling.
I would have not have thrown the drag queen out. I'll let the drag queen try to have a drag queen rally at my church. You know, they're up in there making noise and carrying on. Oh, I'm a drag queen. I'm allowed here, blah, blah, blah. They had to go. But I wouldn't have thrown them out. I would just have my meeting, presented the truth, because who knows? The drag queen may have been seeking help. And especially if they were not making noise and being radical and all that, he threw the drag queen out. If Christ had thrown the drag queen out, nobody would have been saved. Because we all have sinned, and God sent Christ for all of us, everybody. So he went amongst everybody. I can't tell you the people I've counseled over this. That's another thing that shocked me in my life. Not shocked, but different. The things that people are going through, that the devil has done to them, and they thought it was them. It made me. You have to have love for everybody, because the devil's doing some horrible things to people that you don't even imagine. People you know, people that live with you, and how are you going to throw someone out and they may be seeking help? You know what I mean? And it didn't sound like the person was being radical, making noise or anything. They're just in there in mama's dress. And a whole lot of guys have worn mama's dress before. But no, I wouldn't have thrown it out. That was judgment. Based on what we saw in the video, I didn't see what else. All right? But I want to go quickly back to the prodigal son. The prodigal son is a daughter. Imagine a little child firstborn, and the little child is innocent. The little child loved daddy, and the little child loved mama, and the little child just enjoy, let life happen, have no judgment about life or anything, right? Just look around, have fun, and do their thing. And the little child is not only with the physical father and the mother, but the little child is with God too. The child is innocent. The child is not into thoughts and feelings and emotions. And if you yell at the child and say, hey, child, baby, boy or girl, I'm sorry, I was wrong. The child forget just like that and trust you again. But then there'll come a time when you yell at that child, especially the mother's home with the kids, and they yell at the child and make the child angry. You go sit down, have no patience or love for the child. In that very moment, the child leaves the presence of the Father, God, and goes into its imagination. He or she escape into their imagination and go into thoughts. And now they forget about the presence of God. They're no longer innocent. They're now living one with thoughts. And even their relationship changed with their physical parents too, because the child now is irritated at the parents, the child worry, all into thought. So the child have left home. The prodigal daughter or son had left home from the father, present with the father, and gone into the imagination, into thoughts. And the child is out in the wilderness of thoughts, lost in the wilderness, right, of the imagination. Now they have forgotten about the Father, God, because they're no longer present with God. They're in the imagination now. And they are out in the wilderness of the imagination, lost. And they can't find their way home. And they get into all kind of trouble. They're growing up out there in the wilderness of the imagination. They're mistaking fake love for love. They're getting angry about things that's not even important, has nothing to do with them, but they think it does. They're trying to build a career. They're going to college to get a degree. They're trying to fit in with other people. They're trying to be like others. They're joining groups to try to find some comfort in group. All in the imagination, they are left the Father. The son, the prodigal son, the prodigal daughter can't find a way back to the Father. Salvation is about coming back to the Father. That's what it's all about, right? So they're lost in their imagination. And so God tells them, try to warn them, don't take thoughts serious. They're not yours. Don't worry about thoughts. Now they're angry, all into the thoughts. So the prodigal son or the daughter is lost in the imagination. But when you become present again, you start to be present. The prodigal son or the prodigal daughter is back home with the Father. They're no longer lost into the jungle of the imagination. They're no longer lost in darkness. They're back home with the Father. That's why when you do practice being present, instantly you have perfect peace because you're back with the Father. When you're overcoming these thoughts, you're on your way. This is you. You've been living in the jungle of imagination, loneliness, depression, all kind of stuff, looking for love. But when you become aware of those thoughts, you start to leave the jungle a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit. Then eventually you're back home with the Father. When you're present, you're with the Father. So all of you are prodigal sons and daughters of God. It's just that you're lost out in the wilderness of your imagination and you don't know your way back home. That's what the story is all about. You got to overcome the jungle of thoughts and you'll be back home just like that. You got to stay present. God, the kingdom of heaven and everything is right here, right now. Everything is done, it's finished. Even out there in this jungle of the imagination, you think you're a sinner because people come along and say, oh, you're a sinner. You need to be saved. They'll tell you all this. They call you a drug addict. They call you all kind of names. And you believe those names because you lived in your imagination. Satan tell you that. And there's children of Satan tell you that as well. So you start believing that. And you'll walk around saying to yourself, oh, I'm a sinner. I need to be saved. The only thing you need to be saved from is the imagination. All of your sins have been wiped away. You're neither a sinner nor a saint. You're neither rich nor poor. Did you know that in God's kingdom, right here, this kingdom, there's no such thing as success? It doesn't exist. The world made that up. And now you spend the rest of your life trying to be successful and can't even appreciate where you are and what you have. You can't appreciate a one-bedroom apartment. because you want to be successful. Success is a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. You're in your law. The prodigal son come back home by returning to the father, by escaping thoughts. Get rid of thoughts. Isn't that amazing? Yes. What do you think about that? That makes sense a little bit? The jungle is where you're lost in your imagination. And the demons of the jungle does not want you to return to the Father. And then the demons inside of other people, human beings are evil. If you want to know how evil human beings are, see how evil you are. And once you see you're evil, it's going to scare you that you're so evil. Well, human beings are the same way. They don't want you to leave that jungle because they're in that jungle. And they're going to do everything they can to stop you. They will try to stop you. But if you stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, you'll be fine. There's no competition in the kingdom of heaven. No such thing as competition in the kingdom of, that's in the world. And you run fast, you play hard, football really hard, you break your back, you break your neck, you can't wait to get back out there. You don't need to compete. You just need to do your best. Enjoy being you, play football hard, but don't compete, and you cannot lose. And the reason you can't lose is because there's no such thing as competition. That's a false idea as well. It's not real. You can be home right now if you were to drop those thoughts. And the Father tried to warn you, hey, I'm going to give you a little light. I'm trying to draw you back home. I never knew that that's what it meant about the prodigal son, and that was the way back home. But the church never told me that. They told the story about it, but it just sounded like a religious thing. And in my mind, I was thinking, I will only think about Jesus being somebody like that, one of the boys. I just thought about that person was lost, and that's why that person went home with the Father. I didn't know it applied to all of us. I didn't know it applied to me in that way. Amazing, huh? Come out of your thought, you're out of the jungle, you're back home with the Father. He's trying to draw you back. He's not judging you about anything. Christ came and wiped away all of your sin, all of your troubles. There is no such thing as troubles. Trouble is an illusion. Problem is you have no problem. Satan tells you have a problem, and then you find other demons around you and other people, and they tell you have a problem. There's no such thing as a problem. It's an illusion. Everything can be worked out right here, right now, if you wouldn't live it in your head. Yes, sir.
When you were explaining about the children leaving the father, as a dad myself, I can see when I go around other kids, the anger within the children, and it's wicked.
Yeah.
And then when I see my kids standing next to them, I can see the peace and the tranquility in my kids. If anything, they'll observe the other kids and just wonder, like, Dad, what's up with this kid? Why is he yelling? Why is he screaming? Or why is she upset?
Amazing.
And then as you were going through everything, just to make the first thought that came to my head was the Bible verse where it says, "Do not be conformed by the pattern of this world, but transformed by the renewing of your mind." Because as you were explaining what you went through, it's just amazing to see how just letting things happen instead of trying to follow.
From the cotton field to California. I used to pick cotton. Anybody ever pick cotton? You have not lived until you pick cotton. Really. I'm going to start a plantation. All of you are welcome. And I'm going to have a white man as the master. We're going to bring back reality. That's right. Let me ask this, and then don't forget, I'll come to you. So does that make sense about the prodigal son and all that?
It makes perfect sense, yeah. The first time I heard the story was actually from my dad, before I even read it from the Bible.
Yeah.
And I was going through a dark time in my teenage years, and he explained the story to me. And it came off with the message of, hey, I love you no matter what, meaning my dad telling me that.
Yeah.
So it did help me because I knew that no matter what I did, now that I look back, the way I understand it is no matter what I did, it was never me. It was something making me do these things.
Absolutely. In the same way that children yearn for their father when the mother turned the children away from the father, The kids grow up, the boys and the girls, they yearn for their fathers. They still wish daddy was there. And if the mother said, oh, your dad's so mean, he beat me, and you identify with the mother, you still wish daddy didn't beat mama so you could be with daddy. You're yearning for the father, and in the same way you're yearning for your earthly father, you're yearning for your spiritual father. That's why when you forgive your earthly father, don't resent him at all, you automatically turn to the father, the spiritual father. Because the earthly father is a prodigal son. You can't hate the son and think you're going to get to the father. It's not going to happen. You got to drop the anger. Amazing, huh? So I want to ask really fast, and then I hear the biblical question. What is the biblical question? Oh, me. That's my PR person. He better know the answer to this.
Uh-oh.
What's the biblical question from last week?
I forgot.
That's a pitiful prodigal son, huh? What a pitiful prodigal son. Francisco, what's the biblical question for this week? Last week?
I do not know.
That's the bodyguard. That's a pitiful bodyguard. The young lady way in the back, put the guys to shame. Way in the back on the front, the first row. I mean the first seat, yeah. What's the biblical question from last week?
I believe it was, is evil part of the intellect or stupidity?
What?
Is evil part of the intellect or stupidity? Something like that.
That's better than what I got from them.
Yeah.
And you say?
It's part of...
So is anger a part of the intellect or stupidity?
It's anger.
What? Oh yeah, intelligent. Thank you, hate. I don't have to worry about remembering because I always have hate and he reminds me. I remember when Hate first started working for me and he was doing the hate news, not the fake news, and I was speaking black and he would always correct me. I used to say, this nigger rah-rah. Nigger rah-rah. I didn't use the word. Y'all did in your mind. So you say?
I say that...
Is anger part of the intellect?
Is anger part of intelligence or stupidity?
And you say?
I believe it's part of both.
Of both?
Yes.
This is the watermelon woman. She made the best watermelon juice on earth. Really, it's so good. She brings like a half a gallon. Is it half a gallon?
A whole gallon.
Whole gallon. And I often drink it up in 2 days it's gone. It's so good. I can't wait till July comes. Not only is July White History Month, July is Watermelon Month. And you say?
That it's part of both.
It's part of both?
Yes.
Meaning?
Because the intellect is thoughts in the mind, trying to make sense of whatever is going on, and those reactions are, any reaction is as a cause of anger, from what I've come to understand to date.
Okay.
And that intellect, whatever the intellect is saying is really not of the, in the present, so it comes off as, it is stupidity to real life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Interesting. Yes, sir. I saw your hand. Can you respond to the biblical question and your question? Yeah. Did you know about the biblical question?
No, I did not.
Oh, then forget it. You
No,
had your hand for something else.
For the prodigal son, I think for me, it went the other way because they had me in the catechism classes when I was younger, since I was like 6. And they beat it so much into my head that I'm like, I could mess up as much as I want. I'm still gonna be forgiven. And I went throughout life a little messed up. But now when you were talking about the like leaving the father and stuff,
yeah.
I never really hated my dad, and it was all my mom's poison basically that was in it, because she would tell me like, oh, he left us and he didn't love us, that's why he's not here. And it wasn't until I was 20 when I started getting a relationship with my dad again,
Yes.
I wanted to beat him. Like in my head, I was like, when I see that man, I'm gonna beat him. And
you wanted to beat your father?
Oh yeah, I wanted to beat him up. And then it wasn't until he showed me all love. He was all love when he came from North Carolina. I was like, put your hands up, like we're gonna fight. And he's just like, if it's gonna make you feel better, go ahead and hit me. And he didn't even put his hands up. And the more I threatened him, the smaller I felt like I got.
Yeah.
And then until he's like, and he said, and these were his words. He's like, I never left you guys. I left your mom.
Yeah.
And he's like, I always missed you, and I looked for you guys, but your mom kept you guys away from me, meaning me and my brother.
Amazing.
And it was crazy right now that you're going over that. Like I unknowingly still yearned for my dad even though I was angry at him. But
amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Right here. The biblical question. Is anger part of the intelligence or stupidity?
Well, from what I've been seeing, watching the TV over here, all I'm seeing is like, intelligent black women angry with anything. But they're telling me they're really intelligent, they've got all the degrees. And then I've got you, slow, and black. Yeah. And your logic is impeccable, and theirs is, they just spew verbal diarrhea. So
he's visiting today from
England.
From England.
Yeah.
What? All the way from England.
I've got my bags packed, ready to go.
Yeah. Amazing. So is it part of the
So I would say it was
or stupidity?
A bit of both.
Both meaning what?
From what I see, it's not. It's because I'm seeing you. You know, you're like you said, you're slow, but your logic is impeccable. But I know, it's coming from both, because they're evil if anything, and they're telling me that the intelligence is good, but it's not.
Oh, okay.
So it's all mixing into two.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You say?
I say it depends on how you're looking at the question. So if you're, in terms of, is it of intelligence or stupidity? If I'm caught up in thought and the devil's telling me, oh, don't get angry, and then I do get angry, that's going to make me look stupid. If the thoughts are telling me, oh, so-and-so did this, you got to be angry, then I'm going to think it's of intelligence. But really, both of those are lies, so it's of stupidity at the end of the day.
Okay. Amazing. Yes, sir.
The way I look at it is there was a time in my life where thought I was smart. You know, I was into the whole college thing, intellectual thing.
You went to college?
Sadly, I did for a little bit, but I dropped out.
Oh, okay.
So
nice.
when I was in college and I was learning all the...
I went to college for 1 year, junior college, LACC, for 1 year. And the only reason I went to college, I didn't go for any other reason. Huh? What? I went to get a white woman. And that's the truth. I didn't go for a black woman. I had black women. But I had heard amazing things about white women. And so I said, I'm going, because I had told if you go to college, you can get a white woman. So I'm like, wow, I'm going to college. I almost didn't get in college because I barely passed the little SAT thing they had. So I barely got in, but I got in. I got me a white woman, and then I quit. Isn't that amazing? For one reason. He black. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll continue. So, so I was into the whole college thing, and that's when I lived at home with my mom. That's when I was angry. I had an afro, not a marafro. I just had a lot of mess going on.
Yeah.
And then one day, I told my parents that I'm leaving the house. I'm gonna go start living my life. And I dropped the whole school thing. Just started working, and in the eyes of the world, like I'm becoming dumber because I'm not getting educated. I'm not doing what most people do.
Yes.
That's when all the wisdom started to come through. And then I returned to my father. I forgave my mom.
Right.
I went to my dad. We had a really, really good conversation, and this is the closest we ever been.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Nice. I want to ask the young man right behind you.
Right here?
Yes. Is anger a part of what, James? Intelligence or stupidity?
It's always stupidity. It always comes to stupidity. Intelligence is an illusion, so you're just stupid to believe that as well.
Amazing. The young lady behind you want to respond, and then the young lady way over there. No, right behind you. That's your side, man. That behind you, right behind you. Is anger a part of intelligence or stupidity?
I think it's both also.
Explain.
Anger is an emotion, and hate and evil. And really, intelligence is of the mind, and stupidity is of the mind. It's all coming from the mind. It's all coming from manipulation of Satan, so it's all the same.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The young lady way in the corner, and then Raymond. Did I see your hand, Raymond? Yeah. Okay, the young lady behind Raymond.
I think anger comes from stupidity. I say it because I see myself when I get angry and I'm like full of rage and I'm blinded by that. And then when I come out of it, I'm like, how stupid was that? So I really do think it comes from stupidity. Even if you think it's intelligence, there's no such thing. Because even after the fact, you probably feel stupid from being angry for something ridiculous.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nice. And you say, Raymond? I saw your hand, right?
I could be wrong about this, but anger may very well come from intelligence, because the most intelligent people are the ones who judge everybody and everything. I always go by one axiom about intelligence and stupidity. Intelligence has its limits, but stupidity knows no bounds.
That's for sure. Amen. You black. Yes, you have, yes.
I think that righteous anger is intelligent, but I think that frivolous anger is stupid. So going about everyday life, being normal, poised, safe, whatever, but then there's you have a reaction to a particular thing that would invoke the reaction reasonably, I think that is intelligent.
Okay.
But just being angry just because, enraged, overly enraged by everything, I think is stupid.
Nice.
So just having a balance of emotion and regulating yourself is good.
Amazing. Thank you. The young lady here first, and then here. Is anger a part of intelligence or stupidity?
I guess stupidity, I would say, yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, stupidity.
Explain.
I don't think, I mean, if we were to have perfect peace, there shouldn't be a reason to
Speak
get
up
angry.
a little bit for me.
If we have perfect peace, then
Uh-huh.
there would be no reason to get angry. And so I'm not sure what would be intelligent about getting angry about any situation if you had perfect peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. The young man right here. Yes.
Intelligence.
Anger is a part of intelligence?
Indeed. The way
Go
I
ahead.
see it is intelligence in your mind is the reason why you need to get angry. It's like every intelligent thought you have is a card. And when you buy into the reason, you give it value, and that will enable you to stack a house of cards. And when someone comes along, breaks it, you get angry, which leads to stupidity. I think stupidity is like the result of buying into your intelligence. Like the reason why you get angry. Oh, because he stepped on my toe. It hurt, blah, blah, blah. It's just intelligence for me.
Amazing. Thank you. Colin want to respond.
I agree. It's from intelligence, I think. The people that I've met that are black and slow are
Right.
are usually wise, and the people that are intelligent are usually angry.
I know some pretty dumb, black, slow people.
That's true, too.
What the? Okay. And you say anger is a part of intelligence or stupidity?
I think that there's a distinction between intelligence and intuition, and we have to separate that. If we're speaking about anything where we label intelligence, then we're talking about the apple of the tree. And so it's just going to be messed up from there on. But then there is intuition, and there's a little difference there for me. So intuition would be, there it is. But if I have to think about it, and it results in that, I think that's when you were talking about righteous anger, because I hear that all the time, but nobody really knows, I think, what it means. So Jesus turning over the tables, he wasn't mad. It was an expression, like, you know what I mean? Just wow. That's intuition to me. But if there was any thought before or after the motion, then it would be stupid. That went too far, huh? But that's, yeah. So I agree with everybody. It's stupidity. Anger comes from both of them because they're both being labeled in the same bucket. And the only bucket outside that would be intuition or direct knowingness.
And so is anger a part of intelligence or stupidity?
Anger is part of, they're both the same in this category. Wow. Intelligence and stupidity would both be anger here. So it'd be part of both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Amazing. I saw another hand before. Yes, sir. And then I'll move on from there. Is anger part of intelligence or stupidity?
I think stupidity and intelligence is just a way for the anger that's there to come up. So I've seen intelligent people get angry, and I guess stupid people get angry, but it's not either smart or dumb. It's just a way for the anger to come out. Because I've seen people okay with a situation, and they'll work their way up into being angry, like for no reason. You know, I'm gonna feel this way about this because this. Even after the moment happened, they were okay. So it's just a way for anger to come up,
Okay.
if that makes sense. It's
The young lady in the back want to respond. I see it all over her face. Yes. Is anger a part of intelligence or stupidity?
I think anger is stupidity.
It's stupid?
Because, like the young lady said,
Speak up for me.
Oh.
Yell at me the way you yell at your husband.
like the young lady said,
There you
anger is
go.
part of stupidity because when you're angry, you're blinded by the anger,
Yeah.
and then you realize that it was probably a small problem and you could have fixed it a different way, like, or instead of getting angry.
Nice. Amazing. Anger is total stupidity. There's nothing intelligent about anger. And intelligent people could never get and will never get angry. What you might not realize, there is a higher level of intelligence than what we see in these educated people. That's not intelligence. And if you notice, educated people are angry. And as somebody mentioned, yet they think they're intelligent, right? But they're angry. Anger, anyone that has anger is stupid. You're stupid. Sorry. Will y'all come again? You're stupid. Think about anger. When you're angry, you're acting stupid, you think stupidly, and yet because you have a little degree or not, you think you're smart. The higher level of intelligence comes from God. This lower level intelligence is not intelligence. That's why everybody angry. They push anger as normal in a lot of cases. Anger is stupidity. There's no anger in intelligence. And you're going to discover this as one of you were asking about the change. When you let anger go completely, it's going to be mind-blowing to deal with angry people. Because they're going to try to hurt you, offend you, and all that. They can't touch you. Because you now understand what the higher level of intelligence. This intelligence on earth is fake. It's not real. That's why you have to pay a lot of money to get it. You go to the school. God's intelligence is free. The world intelligence costs $100,000 and then some. But there's a higher level intelligence. That's the one I'm referring to. If you're angry, you're stupid. You're stupid. Isn't it stupid to get mad? Think about anger. It's stupid to be mad. It's dumb. Oh, I thought you loved me, now I'm ticked. You said you loved me, now I'm mad. Oh, you're going to leave me? We've been together for 10 years. You're leaving and you get mad. If you have real intelligence and someone wanted to leave you, you're like, oh, okay, bye. See, and you wouldn't think about it at all. There would be no loneliness or anything because you would not think about it. Anger is stupidity. It's stupid. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I agree. Stupidity and anger are one.
Yeah.
Because anger controls you, yeah. I remember that, yeah.
Absolutely. I promise you this. There is never, ever, 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 never a reason to be angry. Zero reason to be angry. Never a reason. No matter what happened out here, outside of you, there's never a reason to be angry. And I want you to know from this day forward, every time you get angry, you're stupid. I want you to say to yourself and think about that. I'm mad. Look how stupid I am. And you're going to see it's stupid to get angry. It's evil, and you're stupid. And Satan got you getting angry. He made you do stupid things. He'll make you go buy your wife some flowers because she's angry at you, and you, on your way home from work, you know that she's mad, so you stop along the way and get some flowers. Ain't that stupid? Right. It's bait all the way. It's stupidity. So anger is stupidity. You got to drop your anger. What do you think about that, the guy in the green and black jacket?
Thank you. I agree with what the woman said back here, but I think in the example that you just gave with the flowers, I think it really depends on why you bought the flowers and what your motivation
No,
is.
if you bringing them just to please her, you're stupid.
I might be bringing them because I'm really sorry about what I did to make her upset.
That's stupid.
Well, to you it is.
No, I'm telling you. Because if she didn't have anger, you could never make her upset. And when you buy the flower, because Satan tell you, oh, you made her upset, right? Now you keep her in her state of anger because you appease in anger, try to please her so you can get along with her. But if you didn't have the anger yourself, you wouldn't have the wrong need, and you wouldn't have to buy flour. If you want to buy flour, you buy flour for no reason at all. You just pick up flour. That's
I could
a
do
different
that
thing.
too.
I'm sorry?
I do that as well.
Oh, yeah?
Buy flowers for no reason at all, but I also might buy flowers because I made my wife angry.
Is anger good or bad? Evil?
Anger in and of itself is not evil.
It's not. What's good
Yeah.
about it?
Well, there's righteous anger.
No, what's the good about anger within itself? It's not bad. What's good about that?
The issue with anger, at least according to the Bible, is that if it is left unchecked or unresolved, it can lead you to doing something that you might regret.
And does the Bible say if it's left unchecked or unresolved, it can do that?
It does.
It says that in the Bible?
Yeah. It essentially says, don't let the sun go down on your anger.
That's a song. Don't let the sun go down on me, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Remember that? Do you have anger?
Not right at this moment.
Do you have anger?
Right now?
Do you have anger?
Right now. In
Do
this
you
moment.
have anger?
No.
You don't have anger?
Not in this moment.
Do you ever get angry?
I can't promise you what's going to happen when I walk outside.
Well,
but
I
right
have a
now, as I
bodyguard.
sit here in front of you, I do not. That I'm aware of.
Do you have anger? Do you ever get angry?
Yes.
You do. And is it good for you to get angry at times?
I don't know. I'm not really evaluating it based on whether it's good or not.
Oh, I see.
It happens.
So you're not paying
and so
attention.
so I focus on the resolution, or well, why did I get angry? And I kind of agree with what you said about, there may be situations where it's stupid to get angry, like why am I getting so upset about this or that? So it gives me an opportunity to think. think about
And
that.
so you do get angry sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Did you know that God said that anyone who has anger is a murderer and should not be trusted, that they're evil? Never trust an angry person.
I'm familiar with the scripture you're talking about generally.
So if
but
anger is
can we talk
good, why
about,
would God
can
call
we
the
talk about
angry-
what the context of that scripture is?
I'm sorry?
Can we open the Bible and see
No,
what
this
the...
is not Bible Thumping Thursday.
Okay.
Real fast, though, because of time, what do you want to say about that?
Well, I'd like to look at the context of the scripture to see what is being talked about.
Oh.
Contextually.
Because
Not
anger-
just pulling a scripture out of the Bible and saying this is what God says about anger.
Right. Anger is of your father, the devil. In God, there's nothing but love. And children of God don't get angry. Uh-huh. How about that one?
So if that's true, why does the Bible say, don't let the sun go down in your anger? Is it talking to unbelievers?
Don't let what now?
Don't let the sun go down in your anger.
Right, because...
So is that just for unbelievers?
Don't let the sun go down in your anger. That
Are they talking to Christians there or
Well, when it says
unbelievers
don't
or
go
both?
to sleep with anger, it means that because when you wake up, the devil worked on you overtime overnight, and the next morning you have made a small situation into a big one.
Okay.
Right? Because anger is dark, it is evil. And I think the Beatles wrote that, don't let the sun go down. Yeah. But anger is evil. That's why God said, before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must forgive. You got to go and forgive, and then you enter in. You are not going to enter into the kingdom as long as you have anger. It's not going to happen. And in closing, I was talking about a friend Colin last night, and he was telling me, you know, Jesse, I can't go back, right? What did you say? Did you say I can't go back? I don't want to misquote you.
I don't remember
Remember
exactly.
that I told you about the bridge thing?
Yeah.
He like, Jesse, I can see now and I can't go back. Something like that.
Yeah. There's no going back. Yep.
And it reminded me, once you wake up, truly wake up, you're not going to be able to go back. They're never going to try to convince you to stop working on yourself. Don't attend these meetings, and you think you're telling yourself that. Don't do the silent prayer. Oh, you're too tired tonight. Don't do it tonight. God said, pray without ceasing, be present at all times, because he knows the devil wants to draw you back into his into your thought, right? But God said to pray without ceasing. And when you forgive, but you got to forgive first. You just can't be an observer with anger. You gotta let the anger go, and then the light will come on, all right? And then you will give up and let life happen. But it's like I was telling Colin last night, like a bridge. Once you wake up, it's like you're crossing a bridge and the water is really heavy, a lot of water under the bridge. And you're crossing this bridge, and it's an old bridge, and as you're crossing, the back of the bridge is falling apart, falling into the water, right? And the front of the bridge on the other side of the road that you're trying to get to, it's still holding up, and you're trying to get over the bridge to the road. That's how it is when you wake up. Your old habits, your old nature, and everything will start to fall away. It will start to fall away, and the more it fall away, even when the devil tries to get you to look back, you can't look back. You can't go back. There's nothing to go back to. The bridge of misery, the bridge of thoughts, and all that is falling away. So I want to encourage you in closing, you got to forgive. God will not allow you into the kingdom of heaven because anger is the nature of evil. It's the nature of evil. And you don't know what righteous anger is until you overcome the false anger, evil anger. So drop this thing about righteous anger. You don't even know what that is. You will come to know. But once you forgive, you got to forgive your mothers. Every human being on earth got to forgive mama. If you don't forgive your mother and your father, but especially your mother because you have your mother's nature, evil comes through the mother. It comes through the woman. And so you take on that by becoming angry, and you become just like your mama. You become stupid. Sorry, mothers. But mean that you become angry. You become angry just like your mother. Men act just like women when they're angry. Women tell me all the time, I feel like I'm married to my mother, they say. Because their husband get mad at them when they do stupid stuff. Their husband is carrying on worse than the woman. Or he come home tired, he all mad. Oh, I've been all day. I'm tired. He got the mother's mindset. Every human being, you must be born again, meaning that your heart has to change from anger to love, and that's not going to change till you see how evil you are, and that it's wrong to be angry. Because the people you're angry at, they couldn't help themselves. The same devil driving you is driving them. All right? So you must forgive. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, my mother was nice. No, she wasn't. My mother was so humble. No, she wasn't. She was so nice. Those nice, quiet mamas are the worst ones. They're the worst. At least you know where the loud mouth mama coming from. But the nice, quiet mama's like, oh, baby. You're not a quiet mama. You want some bread? Don't tell your daddy. That's the worst mama. All mothers need to be forgiven, or grandmother, whomever raised you there. And forgive your father. If you hate the prodigal son, which is your earthly father, you're not going to know the Father, God. It's not going to happen. You can read the Bible till the cows come home. You can quote the scriptures until you're black and blue in the face. You can go to church until the doors fall off. You can participate in church. But if you don't have love, you have nothing. You're not going to enter the kingdom. And can't no human being or anything give you real love. It doesn't come from human beings. It doesn't come from money. It comes only from God. God is love, the real deal. So I want to encourage you to drop the anger. Face your mother, shake it in your boots. And then to overcome your old nature, your fears, your doubt, your worry, your ego, right? The fear, the ego, the death that you have to die from is loneliness, sadness, suicidal thought, needs, wants, laziness, or whatever, right? The way to overcome that, you got to stay present. And that ego will die. It has to die. And the ego is not going to die quietly. It's going to come, it's going to yell at you, it's going to scream at you, it's going to tell you, who do you think you are? What will you be without me? What will you be if you don't think? You got to think, you got to think, and you're going to think it's you, and you're keeping it alive. You got to live life in fear, in doubt, in worry, insecurity, looking for love, suicidal thoughts. You got to live with it, drive with it, sleep with it, live with it, and do nothing about it. Don't take, well, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not telling you not to take your crazy pills. That's up to you. But you got to live with this false nature and surrender it to God. I present you, brother, to present your body a living sacrifice. He means present all of that unto him and do nothing about it, and don't call it you. Don't say, I'm lonely, I'm scared, I'm sad, I need love, I need money, I need this. There is no you. There's no you. Who are you talking about? And who is telling you that you're lonely? You think you're telling you. You would never tell yourself that. There is no you. It's all an illusion. You are an illusion, and you're delusional to think there is a you. You're crazy. You think there's a you. There is no you. Isn't that amazing? You think you exist, and you don't. So when this illusion dies, and it will if you stay with, I'm telling you as a living witness, stay with it. No matter what happens out there, you stay with it and don't argue with the devil or anything. All right? Real fast, yes, sir.
So when I say that I want to have a good relationship with my father and I want to pick up the phone when he calls and I want to be close to him, but I understand that I can't, is that like an ego thing? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you shouldn't be wanting to have a good relationship with your father. You shouldn't want a bad relationship or a good relationship. You just want to return. You just don't want to resent him so you can return to God, to your spiritual father. You don't have to hang out with him. You don't have to drink with him. You don't even have to visit him.
Right.
Just don't resent him, because when you resent the son, you resent the father.
So when I know that I love my father, I've always loved my father with whatever dysfunction he had. But so like if he calls and I'm kind of like, I get kind of nervous. Do I answer? Do I don't? What's that about? Is that just still?
I recommend do what you want, of course. But let's say your father called and you feel nervous, answer.
Okay.
Answer so you can face the nervousness and do nothing about it so you can overcome it.
Okay.
But if you don't answer, the fear will still be there, and it will control you.
Yeah.
Human beings are controlled by fear.
Yeah, the moment I
If
decided.
you tell them when to, why not to, what to, don't go and do this, and they do it. They don't function because they have fear.
Yeah, it's totally true. Yeah. When I decided like
And
I'm
fear
not
is
gonna,
an illusion too. Fear is not real. It's just an illusion. Really, you're out there in the wilderness of your imagination, and you think fear is real. It's not. So if he called, but if you just don't want to answer the call, not because of fear, then you don't have to answer. You don't owe him anything, but not to resent him. You have no obligation to the world at all. You don't owe your mama anything. You don't owe your daddy anything. You don't owe your friends anything. You don't owe your wife anything. You don't owe your children anything, but to take care of your kids, right? But you don't owe anybody anything. The world have taught you that you do, and you believe that you do, and every time you do it, things go wrong. Oh, I helped that person. They turned on me. I thought they were my friend. They turned on me. I thought my wife and the lady said, I thought my husband loved me, and he turned on me. He didn't owe you anything. I got an email from a woman. She was like, oh, I've been married. I forgot how many years. And now my husband beat me. He knocked me down. He did it. What to do? I'm like, I haven't responded yet. I'm like, you idiot, get out of there. Would you love your pain? Human beings love pain, and they love complaining about pain. That's why you hold on to your pain, because you love it. If you didn't love it, you would let it go. But you love your misery. You love the thrill. Doesn't mean it's exciting to hate your husband, huh? Right, ladies? I hate him. And he come on all tired from work. What's for dinner, honey? Nothing. It's a thrill. And then she see that he's upset at her for not having dinner. Oh, she did really feel good. She'll go off with some more stuff out of nowhere, because she's getting the thrill. Don't you love the thrill of being angry and love the thrill of feeling good? Do you? You love your thrills? Right here.
Yes, I do.
Oh, hold on a minute. Amazing. Yes. You love your thrills?
Yes.
You do? See, I told you. And why do you love them?
Because I get high off of them.
It's an ego life. It's a false self. So do you want to let them go, or you want to hang on to them?
Yes, I do want to let them go.
Why don't you let them go?
Because I'm addicted to the feeling of holding on and getting that high.
Amazing. And who are you?
I'm Tony.
You what?
I'm Tony.
You Tony?
Yes.
Tony? Oh, Tony.
Tony.
But who are you?
I'm still finding that out. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. There is no you.
No,
All those are false identity.
I'm a spirit in a human body.
Nope.
No? No.
You just heard somebody say that.
Yeah.
See? Or just an idea. So in closing, you just reminded me, do what you want, but I recommend you let all of your ideas go about God, or who you think God is, about his son, Jesus Christ, about the Holy Spirit, about righteous anger and all that. Let all that go And everything that you've been taught, except practical thought, how to take care of yourself, how to fix a car or something, you let all your ideas, I want to encourage you from this day forward, never think about God again. Because thinking about Him keep you away from Him. It becomes just a thought, and those thoughts, the devil play on you to make you think you know God. And the devil is laughing at you while you're thinking that you know God. Let all your teaching about God go. Let it go. In one ear and out, it's keeping you away from the kingdom. Because you think you know and you don't. Every thought, all thought is a lie. Even the ones you have about God. There is no thinking about God. God said, don't think. Live a no-thinking life. Before Adam listened to the woman, Adam and God had a relationship of no thinking. They never thought. And they knew what each other thought and wanted and all that without thinking about it. So do what you want, but I recommend you drop all of your thinking about God and about life and about what you want or don't want and all that stuff. You'll be free. Stop thinking. All right? Amazing. So do the silent prayer, rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Our theme this year is practice being present. And I want you to know false guilt about being a sinner. I don't care what you have done in life. You could be a low life. We having a low lifers in here? One low life, two low life, three low. See, I knew we had some good ones. I don't care what you have done and how long it has been since it was this morning or 200 years ago. However long, your guilt is false. It's not real. It's from evil. It's from the world have told you, and it's not true. God does not see you as a sinner. All of your sins have been wiped away. You're neither guilty or innocent. You're neither right or wrong. You're neither good or bad. None of those things. You're neither rich or poor. You're neither black nor white. You gotta let all that go and just live your life without any identity at all. Then you shall know your identity. When all false identities disappear, I promise you, and I'm black and slow, I promise you, you will know your identity. And you have perfect peace. You can't even imagine what perfect peace is, because if you try to imagine, Satan's going to give you all kind of ideas about it, and it'll be wrong. Ideas are wrong. So let this go. Stay present. Practice being one with God. Everything is right here, right now. It is done. All right? And it's delusional to think that you exist. There's no you. Stop saying, I'm hurt, I'm lonely, I'm scared, I'm sad. It's a spiritual battle. You have nothing to do with it. Amazing, huh? You can walk out of this door free right now if you forgave and stopped thinking. You could be free. And did I ask you a question about your daddy?
No, I said something.
I'm sorry?
I said something about it.
What?
I said something. I brought it up.
Oh, okay. Did I answer?
I think so.
About if you're afraid of him, answer the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're not afraid, you don't have to answer. Because you want to face your fears.
Right.
So you can get past them.
Answer and just speak up, but don't.
Yeah, speak up.
Okay.
Hey, son, what you doing? Oh, nothing, Daddy. What you want?
Yeah.
Nothing. Right?
Got it.
It's shaking your boots, and you get past it.
Yes, sir.
All right?
All right.
So do the silent prayer, rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. Practice staying present. Go and forgive your mothers and your father if you're not done it, and let life happen. Watch those thoughts, do nothing about them, and you will be free. You will be free. I can't find the word to tell you. You will be free. The world around you will be screwed up, but you'll be free. You really will. You'll have no worries, no pain, no suffering, no misery, no loneliness, no nothing. You will want for nothing. All right? The brand new biblical question is, what? Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, yeah, I got it. Does Satan know God? Does Satan know God? Does he know God? You say, does Satan know God?
No.
And why do you say no?
Because if he knew God, then he would turn to the Father.
Amazing. The young man in the back want to respond, then we're done. Does Satan know God?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
No.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes.
You went to her?
Yeah.
And what did she say?
She said, well, you going to forgive your father too?
Yeah. That's the mama. and so were you able to forgive her and let it go?
Yeah.
How about your father?
Yeah.
Nice. Amazing. Any questions about today? Meeting?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Right on. Well, welcome, all right?
Thank you.
Okay. So we're out of time. Don't forget to, no men's forum, no meeting this week. Next week is for the ladies only, I think. Next Thursday is the third Thursday, right?
Not this week, it's the following.
Okay, next week it's third Thursday. We had an amazing men's forum this past Thursday. Yeah, past Thursday. So come to the meeting. You won't regret it, all right? Don't forget Punch's Coffee. I have my own coffee. Isn't that something? A black man with coffee. Go figure. I'm not even Mexican. I have coffee. Check out Punchy's Coffee. And the way I got the nickname Punchy, when I was a little kid, you know how old people like to pat you on the head? Oh, you're so cute. I used to always fight back when they did that. And one time my grandfather said, come here. And he would try to pat me on the head. I'm like, stop. He's like, you always punching, Punchy. And they started calling me Punchy. And so that's how I got the name. So now we have Punch's Coffee. And don't forget to get your shirt. When she's crying, she's lying. Isn't that an amazing shirt? Be ready to fight, though. I wore that shirt to the gym, and all hell broke loose. All hell broke loose. I'm like, what the? When she's lying, she's crying. Anybody disagree with that? When she's lying, she's crying? See, I told you. I challenge you to wear that shirt. And check out the merch and all things. And we're doing super chats tomorrow. Check out all the shows. I want to tell y'all this. Can I tell them, Joel, about what we're looking for the Punching TV? Should I make it public or just quietly look around? The ladies for Punchy. I can't hear him, Nick. What?
Not yet, because we're still got to talk about it.
Oh, okay. Don't announce what we want for the ladies?
Right.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you. It has something to do with Punchy. But anyway, check out all the shows, all right? Thank you for your support. Don't forget to tithe and offer your donation. We need your support, all right? Thank you for tuning in. I hope that this helped today. Thank you so much. And it's amazing. Thank you guys and ladies. Oh, amazing. Nice. So we are ending right on time, so I need you to be quiet just